Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Barnun11970. Thank you for watching my video. All right, guys. There's a lot of debate going on. I've seen it on Facebook. People are actually starting to talk about stuff. So, especially this Sandy Hook shooting is really starting to get people to at least discuss things. Now, unfortunately, the majority of people still have that mindset of if it sounds crazy, then it automatically must be dismissed. And that's a dangerous thing. So even though people are starting to talk about things, it is showing the true colors of the average person out there that they are so conditioned and programmed from the media that they believe if something is too good to be true, it probably is. And also, if something sounds crazy, then it usually is. And that makes no sense. And that is why we have been so easily controlled for centuries. And it brings out a lot of emotion. And that's one of the reasons why they use tragedies. Now, as far as the Sandy Hook shooting, unless you were there, we will never truly know, was it one person with a gun killing a bunch of innocent children? Or was there something else to it? That's up to debate. But here's my thing. We shouldn't say definitely we know unless we were there, in either way. But you should not be afraid to question things. When things don't add up, when things are omitted, when things are changed, we have to know why. Like things like, why can't we see the autopsy reports? Why can't we see the video footage at the school? Why don't we see the footage or at least an explanation of the other shooter or some other runners that were being chased by the police into the woods? Why don't the people in the mainstream media question these things? When have we become a society so afraid to rock the boat? Are we that afraid? That is how you are controlled. And this is why people have been controlled for centuries, because they use tragedies, they use emotion, they use things that will make you angry, or something that would be so amazing that it can't seem possible. They condition you to believe, well, trust in your government. We're there to protect you. We're there to save you. Well, if you look at things like the Gulf of Tonkin, that was what the event that started the U.S. into Vietnam, where they said that one of our boats was attacked and was hit by I believe, a submarine or a missile. Regardless, one of our ships was attacked, and that's what got us into the Vietnam War, and it never happened. They've admitted that they lied. Look at things like the Spanish-American War. The reason we got into the Spanish-American War was because supposedly the U.S. Maine was attacked by the Spaniards. Later found out that it was not attacked by the Spaniards. The thing is, when governments want to start wars, because wars create money, whether you want to believe that or not, this is fact. All you have to do is research. Banks give money out to countries that need them in times of war. Now, the banks don't care if somebody's a good guy or a bad guy. They loan money to either side. So they make money regardless of who's right and who's wrong. But they use tragedies. Now, that could mean they initiated the tragedy or they exploited a tragedy to work in their favor to create an agenda. Now, the Sandy Hook shooting, they could have either created that, which is a possibility. You can't dismiss it because of all the holes in their stories, all the things that change, all the things they omit. You can't say with a certain fact that that 20-year-old person had a purpose to go there and kill all those people, and that was the only person. You can't say that. And on the same token, we can't say it's a 100% guarantee that the government was involved in it. But you should at least question it. So that means the government is either involved in how the situation happened, or they are taking advantage of the tragedy to use and pass an agenda, which is more and more gun control. And you see by the laws that they're creating now, they're trying to pass laws on taxing guns and ammo, $2,000 tax breaks for people who turn in their guns. This is creating an agenda based on your fears. This is something we have to be really careful about, and this can become something very dangerous. And when you see the president talk about a gun banning possibilities, and he has himself surrounded by children to gain sympathy, all you have to do is look at people like Stalin and Hitler and all these other people who use the children because it's a way to subliminally get you to think, oh, look, he's caring. That person is not evil. He's surrounded by children. Well, how many children did Hitler kill in his lifetime? Not personally, but if he's directly commanding people to do it, he's responsible. What about Mussolini? What about Stalin? What about Obama with all of his drone kills, where they've killed over 1 million civilians, just regular people that they term as collateral damage? Where is the outcry for that? And this ability to just say anything they want on the media and for the people to not challenge it is your responsibility. And I understand where people get emotionally involved in this, and it's very frustrating. But it's the same old tactic they've been using for centuries. It's all about divide and conquer. You have some people for gun control. You have some people against gun control. You have some people that are with Obama. You have some people that are against Obama. You have some people that love the government, some people that hate the government. But there's no unity. We're all fighting. Even in this forum, people will automatically dismiss, oh, well, it's YouTube, so you can't trust that. Really? There are many videos that are very informative, that give truthful and very positive information. They give factual evidence, and just because it's put on YouTube, you're automatically supposed to dismiss it as crazy. That to me is silly. It's irresponsible. And I'll get haters. I'll get the people who will automatically thumb down a video just because they don't like me as a person. But how are they helping the situation if we don't work together? And this is the part that frustrates me more than anything, is that everybody has these egos where, look at me, follow me, believe me, listen to me, or I don't like somebody, so if you want to be cool, you have to not like that person too. Where's the individuality? Where's the person who's not afraid to research? Where's the person that actually wants to question authority? Because I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'm still waiting for somebody to come up with a solution to this question. Can anyone in their entire lifetime name 5 government officials during their lifetime that you could say were honorable, honest people full of integrity? I've yet to find somebody that could name more than 3. Now, I'm not talking about throughout history. I'm talking about entire lifetime that you've lived. Can you name 5? I've yet to have anyone answer that. So with that being said, if we honestly can say that lawyers are corrupt majority-wise, police can be corrupt most of the time, politicians are known to be dishonest and corrupt, why do we believe everything that they say? Why do we just take it as face value without question? Why do we just accept that? Now, I'm not talking about the people that subscribe to my videos and other people that actually pay attention to these things. There's nothing wrong with questioning, because the whole Sandy Hook shooting, I would rather question it and be wrong than to ignore it and find out I was wrong that way. Because most people say, oh, well, you shouldn't talk about it because, you're dishonoring the children who lost their lives. No, we're not. We're actually honoring them by trying to find out why they died, or if they died. Because we don't really know. But if you just allow them to die and you don't even question things that seem that they should be questioned, then you are the ones that are disrespecting their deaths, not somebody like me. Just because it makes you angry because I question it and I have the courage to stand up does not mean that I'm some crazy person or I'm wrong. And I could be wrong. I'd rather be wrong and research than just to pretend, well, I was told that this happened this way, so I have to believe it. It makes no sense to me. I really hope people start getting angry at the right people. And I'll still get my haters. I'll get my thumbs down on these videos. And obviously you can see it doesn't stop me. It slowed me down a couple of times, made me delete my channel at one point. Lesson learned. But we all have to take responsibility for what we do and don't do. But if we all sit here and do nothing but complain and don't speak up and at least question things, then where are we headed as a society? And the people, especially the majority of people on Facebook, who when I print stuff on a regular basis just tend to ignore it, Those people should be ashamed of themselves. And they sit there and think, well, nothing will happen to me if I just be quiet. You sure about that? Check history out. What happened to the Jewish people in the times of Hitler when they didn't do anything? What happened to all the other nations when they had gun confiscation and millions of people were killed? It's called genocide. It's happened. Now, does that guarantee it'll happen again? Of course not. But do you want to take that chance? Because when the media tells you you'll be safer when they take the guns out of the hands of the people, they are flat out lying to you and giving you wrong information. And you'll believe it because it sounds logical. And people will say, oh, look, there were over 6,000 deaths, between 6 and 11,000 deaths in the last year based on guns. Okay, well, we have over 350 million people just in the United States alone, and about 6,000 deaths, which they also don't tell you, by the way. Majority of those are gun-related from gangs. And these are not law-abiding citizens. And that's what people don't seem to understand. All these gun laws do is make law-abiding citizens into criminals or potential criminals. Because it's not the law-abiding citizens going around shooting people. It's crazy, dishonest criminals. When they can take the alcohol and drugs and murders and fights and gangs out of prisons, then I'll start believing what they tell me they can do for our open society where people can go anywhere they want. It's an illusion of freedom. It's nothing more than control. And whether Sandy Hook was a conspiracy, which, by the way, a conspiracy, I'll give you the definition of a conspiracy. Conspiracy is a criminal conspiracy exists when two or more people agree to commit almost any unlawful act, then take some action towards its completion. The action taken need not itself be a crime, but it must indicate that those involved in the conspiracy knew of the plan and intended to break the law. One person may be charged with and convicted of both conspiracy and the underlying crime based on the same circumstances. So it's a conspiracy is more than just some crazy person. That's what the mainstream media and the government makes you think. Oh, that person's a conspiracy theorist. Well, they use fear and ignorance to control you, because then you'll say, oh, that's nothing more than a crazy conspiracy theorist. I can't listen to him. He's a crackpot. No. The definition of conspiracy is basically two or more people conspiring to do something. But yet we don't research these things. And we fall into the same trap over and over again. And that's why they say if you don't research history, you're doomed to repeat it. Well, that's the path we're heading on yet again. Now, does this say that we're going to become another Nazi Germany? Of course not. But does that mean there's not the possibility? That's for you to decide. If we do nothing, we have a better chance of that happening than if we actually do something to potentially stop it from happening. There are no guarantees in life. But like, for example, if I take a glass ball and roll it across a table, it's destined to fall off that table. But if you catch it, it doesn't fall. So what you do controls the outcome, even if something was supposed to be inevitable. So that's where we people have to start uniting. We have to start learning these things. We can't always just say, oh, something is a conspiracy. We also just can't say there's no way it can happen. We have to question things and find out. And for the people who attack us, just keep in mind that just because the majority of the people may believe in something does not mean they are right. Because you can go just as far back as the Dark Ages, when the kings and the priests and the nobles of the time told the people for hundreds of years that the earth was flat and it was the center of the universe and the sun revolved around the earth. And when people like Galileo actually took a stand and said, no, that is not true, the earth is round, the sun is the center of our solar system, and we are not the center of the universe, he was ridiculed and imprisoned. So the majority of people were conditioned to believe for centuries that the world was flat, and yet that was not true. So it is easy for us to be hated because we're an easy target, because we're there in front of you. Where's the president? Where's his videos? Where is he speaking out to the people? I guarantee you there's a reason why Obama and all these government officials never have live events where they just take a random person to ask a question, and why it's always pre-screened and pre-programmed and in a building where they can control everything. When you have nothing to hide, you're not afraid. So what about that, people who doubt the government's ability to do evil things? Why don't they ever hold some kind of event where they just take any person on average Joe Schmo on the street and allow them to ask any question they want. Ever wonder about that? Any government official, any CEO, any bank corporation, any mainstream media head. There's a reason why they do these things in controlled situations. It's because when you can control the situation, it never goes out of control. We have to be the spoke in the wheel. We have to be the ones that cause a little bit of chaos to create good. We have to know that it's okay to question and stop being afraid. Because as long as you're afraid, you are easily controlled. And then you have no one to blame but yourself. So remember that the next time you complain to your friends at work or you complain to your family because you lost your job, that things are getting really bad. We do nothing, it's our fault. Thanks for watching. Peace.